Welcome to Maybe We Can Help, the podcast where we give our unsolicited advice. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. You be the judge. I am Tasia Royale.
I'm Sheena.
I'm Risha, and today we have two special guests. One it will be my lovely sister.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And my brolo.
Hey, I'm George.
And today we have them up here because our topic is the first year of marriage. Woo-hoo. And they have experienced a wonderful first year of marriage. So we was like, why not bring them up here and talk about it? Now, on our panel today, we have 3 married, 2 divorced. If you know our story, we done talked about the divorces. So we're not going to go into a lot of them, but we're going to talk about our first year of marriage this year. Does anybody have a question to start off with for the newlyweds?
So, how's it been? No.
It's been good. It was a very eventful first year.
Do you care to share any events?
That's a great
like maybe
way to say it.
One highlighted one, maybe a good one, maybe a bad one.
A funny bad one.
Right.
Honestly, like when you
bad
in that
ones turn
first
funny.
Yes, the bad ones turned funny. Like now I was kind of tripping in that first year, so I understand.
For me, it's been a bit.
I say, don't make us pass the mic to George, and he'll tell us something.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like
They be trying
George
to-
got
George look like he got a lot of pent up
he
emotions.
got the tea. He got the tea. Nate gonna like little sugar in it. George got that piping hot for me.
It's been a big adjustment for me because
How?
coming from
Mhm.
just leaving my hometown, knowing everything that I know there from there, and coming here, it's just been really different. And if you guys all know me, like I'm pretty much to myself. I like my space. So having someone in my space all the time is like, okay, you don't go home, huh? All right.
You don't go
Home
home.
is here with me, huh?
Here.
Oh, okay. You're
Man.
still
But,
here.
it's been a big adjustment. I like to talk, but after a while, my social media goes a little down. But with George, not so much. So that can be like, "Ooh, you still talking? All right." But it's been good. I feel like, if anything, it's been adjustment and it's been full of growth. I can't think of a specific time, but maybe George can help.
That's good.
Where to start? Well, the first year of marriage for me, the first 6 months was it was a rocky ship. And,
Amen.
It was a rocky ship, because like Renee said, I too was like, man, I never lived with a woman before. And I'm like, I'm waking up and she's still here. So
Hilarious.
Waking up and she's still
You
here.
still right here.
Yeah, I was like, she's still here. But it's been an adjustment, moving from Winston to here and relocating. New job. It was definitely rocky. So, but communication was big for us. So, yeah.
So, when you say here, being that our audience doesn't know where here is, where will here be?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, so you moved from Winston to
Raleigh, North
Winston
Carolina.
to Raleigh.
Mhm.
And
then
okay, do y'all
they
like
came.
it? Do you like both of you? Do you like Raleigh?
Now you came from a little old Elizabeth City,
Right.
to
So
Raleigh.
to give our viewers context, all 3 of us live where Nate was from, in a small little town on the coast of
Elizabeth
North Carolina,
City.
Elizabeth City, Pasco County. So that's where we live in the 252. I know people don't really recognize the 252
we on the map.
we over there, all
We
the
on
way
the map.
past that. But then you have Raleigh in between, and then you would have Windsor, right? It's on the other side of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of met in a good meeting place, and that's where we are today. So if our background looks different, we're in Raleigh, guys. Just to give y'all some context.
We out of town. We're not
So,
thinking that round.
do you have any regrets about the move?
Oh, you about to
I
say-
don't have any regrets. The only thing, like I said, for me was the adjustment. Like, I miss home. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I don't have any regrets though. I mean, I like it out here.
Y'all got a nice spot, because I'm telling you,
They
Starbucks,
do.
Chick-fil-A, Harris Teeter, Sam's Club, Costco. I said they're like 5 minutes away from everything. Child, I would be broke.
Lord have
Yeah,
mercy.
we do like
Spending
it
money.
here.
I just be like, Lord Jesus.
We do enjoy it here. I like the fact that where we are, it's like kind of gives you a
Lift your mic up, son.
country vibes. Not country, but I have like some type of sense of home being around. Like I'm able to still get to everywhere versus like other parts, you get out there and it's just like, whoo, you know. But I do like it out here a lot. So I miss home a lot, which just comes with the territory. But I do enjoy it out here.
Okay.
I like it too. Like I said, Winston. For those of you who don't know, Winston-Salem it's not as small as Elizabeth City by no means, but it's still country. So moving out here was definitely different for the both of us. Renee likes, water and everything like that. So there's a pond.
But she can't swim.
Yeah, she can't
Don't
swim
do
at
my
all.
sister like that.
I just don't
She
understand
be trying to
people
play
who love
people
water
like she
and
like
can't
she's
swim.
such like she's
That
such a princess
baffles
Ariel.
me. She's
never
not the
did
only
understand
person, but I do not get that. Like people who go on water excursions, why you can't swim?
Mm-mm.
Please stop
We
doing
just stand
that.
at the shore.
Because it's God's beautiful creation, and I can
okay.
go and like it.
It's all right.
In her defense, you can like water without like swimming in it.
Exactly. It's admiring God's creation. I don't know how to climb no mountain, but I don't see you not going into the mountains because you
I
do.
actually would love to. I don't want to climb them,
That's
but
what
I
I'm
want to
talking
do the
about.
little, that
Them
little
people that be hiking up them joints.
but I
that's
would
the
love to
point
do
of
the
my.
thing.
That's the
But
point of
the
mountains
thing
and
is,
stuff.
I don't go to the hike in the mountains. I
You
like
might
that
as well
from
say that's
afar.
the reason why they made mountains. Well, the mountains is there. Why would you go look at them? You can't climb it.
Put it like this, Tay, to bring it into context.
I'm gonna go look
for
at
those
water.
people, because I know Tay's not the only one
I'm not.
who feels like people who love water should be in the water swimming in it. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a good example.
Because especially excursions. Why would you go do a water excursion?
I
and
got you.
can't
I got
swim?
you.
That
I
don't
like
make sense
tigers.
to me.
Me too.
I don't want to
My
ride one.
favorite animal.
That's it. I love
But
tigers.
you're not getting in the cage with one.
I don't want to. I don't
Exactly.
want to
But the people who can't swim is actively getting in water with the little life vest, and it could be defective. You'll never know what could go wrong with life vest. You're actively getting into a pool or water and be like, we're gonna try it out. Like,
In my
why
defense,
would you do that?
In
I know
my
you don't do that, Nate, but that bothers me when people do that. I just be like, please
In my
stop.
defense, I like to be near the water. I like to look at it, I like to be around it. I
She
don't
like
want
to
be
hear
in
it.
I like to hear it.
That's
I
okay.
don't want to be in it.
That's
That's
good.
it. It brings me a lot of peace.
She don't
and
even hardly put her feet in
I
the
can
water.
ground myself. I don't know. I like it. That's just my thing. It's a lake not too far from here. Sometimes we go and sit by it. It's really nice.
Oh, that's really
It
nice.
was nice. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
So I have a question for you guys.
Question.
So, George, okay,
Mm.
we're always guys on, especially on our show. They're always outnumbered. You know, so what
I don't know.
advice
We should be asking a little.
would
masculine
you
sometimes,
give
a little bit.
a man
All right,
who's
you love it.
thinking about proposing?
Oh, that's
As far as his first, like, what would to expect? Because I heard you say communication. I heard you
And
say
y'all was
things.
distance.
And we were distant.
Yes.
Because when y'all were dating, to give you guys context, you were in Winston-Salem and you were in Elizabeth City. So
Correct.
they had 4
4
hours in
hours.
between them.
So, what advice would you give a man who's thinking about proposing?
Well, I definitely feel like you gotta be ready, and you gotta feel like you're ready. Pray, seek God for it, and everything,
that's right.
and then all these things will be added unto you. So,
Come on here.
So I definitely feel like you definitely should get into it for the right reasons. Marriage is not easy by no means. It's a lot of work every day. Every day you have to wake up and you're just not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about somebody else that you have to lead every day and be that male figure, that husband figure. So it was a big adjustment for me because I had never experienced anything husband-wise, never been married before. So I'm still learning, and it's an adjustment every day.
Okay. Awesome.
I got a question then, because you gave advice about as far as what would you do to prepare, but how did you guys make it work for the year before you, like the dating stage with the distance, dating and distance?
Yeah, that was difficult. Well, first of all, we had a big.
Who came and
issue.
saw who first?
That was me.
Okay.
As it should be.
As
Don't
it
you
should be.
don't
Just
you go follow
clarifying.
that man.
Just
clarifying.
Nowhere. Don't you follow him? You better wait for him to come. If he don't want to come, he ain't yours.
That part. But you go ahead.
Nah, it's got to be 50-50.
Yeah.
But let him come.
But the
him
first
come
move,
first,
the
but-
first move,
Because he's the leader.
Yeah, exactly.
all right.
If she not making no moves to come see you, though,
And don't you
that's-
bring it up either. Let him bring it up. But go ahead. I'm just piggybacking. I'm just trying to
We
make
give
sure the
y'all
folks
good
know.
advice. Write it down. Get a pencil and pen.
I'm trying to tell you. But what else about the dating and distance? How did y'all? You said 50-50. You came 1st.
Mhm.
Like.
Just a lot of communication. That's about
What
all
about
I
your
can
perspective
say.
on it, Nay? Because Nay look like she got a mouthful. I knew
So-
how I got through it.
Yes, it took a lot of communicating. Of course, the initial he came, but after that we had to come up with a plan because you don't want it to be one sided. So it's like, okay, we had to figure out a way that works well for both of us, and we just kind of kept.
Like with y'all work schedules and stuff. Like
Yeah,
one
just
weekend you
making
made
it-
this, and
Right.
maybe 2 weekends we
'Cause-
have to wait.
Right, like we were at a distance, so like we had to make sure we weren't like just going every week because that was not realistic. You have to do what works for you. So and just talking through it and trying to plan like, okay, we could do this, we could do that, we can't do that. So just constantly communicating that and making sure everyone was clear on those.
And y'all communicated like through video chatting and on the
we talk on the
phone.
phone, FaceTime, in person.
It's
as
kind of
much
like
as
the
possible.
same until you can see him again.
So we had, Renee was celibate. So
Well, my.
yes. So
Let's give a hand.
Let's say a virgin, though.
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, if you didn't want, I'm sorry, but I still commend
She
my
was,
sister
yes.
to this day for that.
Okay,
act.
wait. Clear the air. Say that
Sorry.
one more time.
My sister was a virgin, not just celibacy, but she was a virgin.
So
Go ahead.
he the only
Never-
one.
Come on, somebody. They don't know how rare that is,
Okay.
my brother.
Rare.
And
He ain't-
very rare.
bless
he ain't
my
got.
soul.
He don't have to look over his shoulder. He ain't got to think. Well, how was he compared to? And she don't have nothing to compare.
That's
it
beautiful.
to.
I'm telling y'all, I'm serious. I'm serious. I really admire.
So he
that's
always
beautiful.
gonna be the best. Okay.
Okay.
That part.
But that's amazing.
Period. Was that speaking of, was that a long wait? Because y'all were dating for like a year, right?
Mhm.
Because I got married in 4 months.
Tay ain't a waiter.
I wouldn't suggest
just-
that. I wouldn't suggest that. A year is good, but
And not to mention they pushing 10 next year.
oh yeah,
10
10
years.
years, almost 10 years. Thank you, Lord.
So the Lord,
Shama.
long as God is in it, He gonna make it. He gonna
Oh, yeah,
see
he
it
gonna
through.
bless it.
But
Was
Yeah.
that wait a long, hard wait?
oh, you
It definitely was. No doubt about it.
definitely was.
It was
Yes,
it was
Lord.
some long days. So that's about all I got on.
I want to say this. Some of the most profound words that I've heard about relationships is that relationships are not for selfish people.
Oh no, absolutely
And
not.
the thing about relationships is that you are learning to do what's best for someone else. And I believe that's why God made it that way. Because he did not want selfish people in relationships, and that's why so many relationships are not successful, because they are being run by selfish people. I want it this way. You want it that way. You're not bending. I'm not bending. So eventually you have to part ways, you know. Or if one person is always the one bending, and it gets that's what you call unequally yoked. It's like when a lot of people that have heard that saying, two people being unequally yoked, they're talking about two oxes, and they yoke them together to pull one load. And if one ox is pulling harder than the other,
Or
and
the opposite way.
or the opposite way of the other, they don't get far. Because if two oxes are pulling together at the same time, then one is not more tired than the other. And then if you're amazed at the work that they can get done. So that's what it means by unequally yoked, because one ox is pulling, the other one's not. One's pulling this way and one's pulling that way. That's what that means. But they talked about being unselfish. When you are not selfish, or you're willing to let go more and more of self for the sake of one vision, like we want to form a vision together. I already know what my vision looks like by myself. You might know what your vision looks like by yourself. Can we form one vision as two different people? And that's when you know you have reached the ultimate level that God wanted us to reach, which was to be unselfish, to be giving, to be loving, to be kind, and to basically have the fruits of the Spirit. So I commend everybody that has a working marriage out there and here, you guys. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because
You gotta remember,
It's an unselfish act. Yeah.
It is the ultimate. It is.
But most people get into it like, oh, I want him to have this. I want him to have that. I want her to have this. I want her to have that because it's for me.
Right. You have to. The person wants to be served, and it's also like you have to be of service.
Yeah,
like you just can't be like me.
Right.
But
Like
that
what
should
is
be
it's
any
hard doing
relationship
that.
you have though, in any part of life. And I've learned that too, because when Shana used to tell me, she was like, what you do with me, you'll do with them, or what you'll do with this person, you'll do with that. And you think you won't, but you will treat that person that way. You think, oh, well, I won't treat my husband like that. Not like I treat you. You my sister. You will treat them like that. And I was like, no, what? And it took me a long time to grasp that concept, because I was like, you ain't my man though. But
And you will oftentimes treat your man worse because you can see his flaws. You're gonna be able
Closer.
to, right? You're gonna know what, because oftentimes that's also about being unselfish. Because Aaron corrected me, or not corrected me, but he was like, basically saying this ain't your mindset. You need to come up. I was just like, who the heck? In my mind, I was like, who the heck you talking to? You do such and such and such and such. But I had to like, okay, you got to dead that, because in this moment he's talking about you.
Right.
You didn't bring up him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's hard to be mature
challenging.
enough. It's challenging to be mature enough to be quiet and listen, instead of bringing up somebody else's wrongdoing or their flaws
Right.
in that moment.
Tay and I both do hair. So if I'm sitting across from her and I see her holding a curling iron too long and she about to burn somebody. This has never happened, by the way. Tay is a great hairstylist, but let's say I see that. And
You can use that one you did do that time about the color. You did that time about the girl with the color.
I don't want to use not real.
It was. I mean, it was real, and I won't offend it at all.
I don't even know what you're talking about, honestly.
She came in, because I was doing a color, and the lady was of lighter skin. And if you know anything about color and lighter skin, it stains a lot easier the lighter you are. So I had put it on, and I didn't see.
It was red.
It's really red. I didn't see like the lining where I had put it at, and I just went out to go clean up. And Sheena came, and she was like, "Hey, you need to clean that off because it's gonna stain her skin really bad." I was like, oh, "Okay," and I went to go fix it. That's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
She could have been like, and you didn't put away your utensils yesterday. Like, you can do that.
Yeah.
Or you can take what I'm giving you to improve yourself, and then and vice versa. If she comes to me and says, which she does sometimes, she'll be like, hey, stay focused. One time you said that, right? It was something that I was doing.
It was late, and sometimes the only time Sheena really gets distracted if she's talking or if she's watching something good on TV.
Oh my goodness, that TV.
And it was late.
True.
I was tired. And we work in a salon where it gets dark, so you shouldn't be there by yourself all the time. So she was kind of like doing it, but she was just like,
into whatever I was in,
where
TV.
I was like, Sheena, stay focused. Let's go ahead and get this done.
And I said, okay. And I got back focused, because that's being able to take corrective criticism without offense. So it's basically, that's two examples of a time I had to come to her and a time she had to come to me. And of course, we're not married, but it takes that for every relationship across the board, and how you treat your friends, how you treat your mom, how you treat your sister, and the people that are closest to you. If you've never been in a relationship before, that's how you're going to treat them. I've heard people say, oh, I can't wait to get a man. I'm gonna buy him this. I'm gonna buy him that. And I was like, oh, you do that for your family? You do that for your mama? You do that for your kids? You do that for anybody? No, I'm just saying what I'm gonna do when I get a man. No, you're not. If you're not doing that now, you're not gonna do that for him. When y'all get used to each other, you're not going to do that, because that's not who you are. There are people who have that as an instinct. Ooh, this reminds me of them. I'm going to buy it for them. That's who you're going to be with them. You're not going to just automatically become somebody new because you're in a relationship.
No, that delusion is crazy. please stop being delusional that you magically gonna magically be somebody different, and you gonna
Right.
magically be somebody different. What you get is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
Choose
That's it.
correctly.
That part.
If you
Choose
messy
correctly.
now, if you
He
messy
gonna be
now,
messy.
Yes.
Marriage
Oh
does
my
not change that. If anything,
goodness.
it intensifies.
Jesus.
You under
Lord,
fire,
I thank God
even
for making
more.
me whole.
right. That's why love is so beautiful,
more.
because the first thing that you start to see is all the flaws, all the things that are wrong. And when it's done right, when you see them and you kind of analyze them, and then you still say, is this a person that I can still respect? Like, does that person still have a character that I can see, like, that you are a good human? You know, you're a good human, and I can depend on you. Yeah, I know I might not be able to depend on you for this, but I know all the areas that I can depend on you, you are consistent in those areas. So I can stay right here and know that you'll never let me fall in these areas, and be satisfied with having my person, you know. And that is when marriage and love gets sweeter, because I've seen all of those, and I'm not holding on to them, and I'm okay with the fact
Or
that you're
trying to
not perfect.
weaponizing them. Weaponize them. 'Cause
Yes,
that-
I'm not
that-
going to weaponize your flaws. There you have it.
That's one of them, boy. That'll tear people down, and it'll build resentment. Like, seriously, like, if you be like, well, I don't know. I just been through very bad situationships, not even relationships, because I don't really even say, hey, that's my boyfriend often, or at all, hardly. So the situationships where you'll do that, and I've done that. I've been the toxic person. I'm not going to sit there and never say I was always the healthy one. No, I was hurt. So sometimes, you know, of course, hurt people. And if you don't heal, you get into any situation, like, it brings so much damage to you that you could have avoided, you know, versus just sitting, just filling yourself out, figuring yourself out, becoming self-aware, and of course, becoming one with God even the more, because you won't attract those things if, you know, because he's already have filled those voids in those places. So it's nothing that can just seep in, even though you're still not going to be perfect. It just won't be that negative effect. It'll still be there, but it's a control, it's a self-control, it's a self-awareness that comes with all of that. So
Learning to operate in your positive,
yeah.
in my positive. The things that I don't like about that I do that aren't completely right, or that I may make mistakes, I don't have to dwell in that. I can live in the positive things that I do right. And then you can give all those positive things, you can put them in one bubble and give those to your partner as
Right.
much as possible.
I like that.
So I got, so each and every person, I want to go around, and whether it's good or bad, I want everybody to kind of sum up, give me one word that kind of sums up your first year of marriage.
Oh, Jesus.
No, and somebody did on this podcast. No, don't give no explanation. Just say the one word.
Why we
One
can't get no
word.
explanation?
No, just one word.
One word.
That's it.
Keep me
Okay.
last.
No, one word. Go.
I said just
one
keep me
word.
calm
Okay.
down,
First.
Ted.
Okay, me
It's-
first.
Oh, I thought,
Oh
'cause
my
I thought
God.
she did. I thought she pointed to you, and we were gonna go around. That's why I did that. So go ahead.
Let me think. Gotta
Okay,
brainstorm.
as you all know, I'm divorced. The
How
first,
long were you married?
We're
before you-
describing the actual
I was
marriage
married
or the
for 9
experience?
1 year. We're just describing
Yes.
the first 1 year.
That's what I'm saying. Are we describing the experience of the marriage, or like,
Just one
the
word.
whole one word that comes to mind
For that first year.
describes.
okay, the first
If you
word
were
that comes to
to
mind.
think about it and not, if not think about it really, and the word that comes to your mind,
Oh, okay.
bloop, whatever pops in your head. Okay. So I was married for 9 years, and the first year of my marriage was kind of I'll just say blur.
Me and Aaron did this one time. I don't remember the word I said, but I'm gonna go off and say challenging.
For me, I'm gonna say clarity.
My word is adjustment.
I was only married I am divorced, and I've been divorced for like 3 years now, I think. Yeah, 3 years now. And the word that comes to me is trying. It was very trying. It was very trying. Very, very trying.
She wants to explain so bad. She wants to go into why it was trying so bad.
Just
Okay,
trying. I
so
was only
we're gonna
22.
we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start with you, Risha, this time,
And explain your word.
and you're going to know this time. I want you to give me one word that described you
In that first year?
in that first year.
Oh, I got my off gate.
I feel
Can
like
I
I
do
was,
my
Describe
first?
yourself and
Yeah,
be
go ahead.
honest.
I can do me first? Oh, you got to start with Risha.
or
'Cause
we
I got
gonna
mine
start
right
backwards. Tell you it's
We
itching.
starting with
Because,
Reese.
honey.
Dang.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I want to hear it.
Okay,
Like
one
one word that described me.
Yes.
In that marriage. I don't know. I want to say trying, but I want to say begging. Because I was begging for attention, begging for time.
Okay, your word begging. All
Right
right.
there, begging.
I'm
Go
doing
ahead,
that. I'm trying to
Nate.
get a little
Nate.
laugh.
So it's
This is hard.
describe you in one
Just
word.
you.
Just you. My
The
God.
first year,
Mhm.
I was begging.
a whirlwind.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, you was a
Whirlwind.
Get my bro low the mic. Try to keep you quiet, bro low.
For me, I'm going to say difficult.
You was
I was
difficult,
immature.
man. Okay.
Naive. Okay. So last question. What word would you use to describe your spouse for the first year?
You started it off. I mean, you ended it, so you started off.
Okay, so my word for him would be confusing.
Clingy.
A lot.
Frustrating. I was a lot, so I guess we're even.
I think for me, he was dishonest. This the biggest character trait that I got from him.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So Risha, go give me your 3 words again if you can recall them all.
Trying. No,
Okay,
the
so-
marriage was trying.
Marriage was trying.
I was tired. Something was tiring. Oh, the marriage was tiring. I was begging, and he was dishonest.
Okay. So he was dishonest.
Mm.
You were begging.
Basically.
In the sense of
Like for attention, like, you know, he was basically the type of person that said he was doing all these businesses. He was into his profession and trying to like start up businesses, and it was just like no time. And I get it, like I'm all for pushing your dreams because I would help.
did any of those businesses ever work?
Absolutely not. I mean,
For context, people.
and
for
I'm just
context,
saying,
that's
guys,
all.
like, come on,
We're
you
just
can't.
giving you context.
Listen,
that's
I'm
all.
gonna be very honest, and sometimes I know people be like, "Oh, listen," but that's how y'all can relate. You gotta be transparent to some degree, but yeah, no, nothing ever prospered as much as we pushed and we tried, and I was pushing and I was helping him, and I was even going through the website correcting things, and but it got to a point where I was like, okay, no phone in the bed past 11. I feel like that was a good rule. You know what I'm saying? It's 11 p.m. You've been at work all day. You come home and then you go back to your office and you're working up until 10, 11 o'clock. And then you want to be on the phone and do more business work. Like, come on, when do I ever get a, hey, how you doing? Just time. That's all I want, And it's just like, we didn't have much, but I always try to make the best of what we had. I was always that type of person because that's how my mom raised me. Like, don't matter what you got, long as you got the people you love, you're gonna make it. Like, won't be like this always. So that was tough for me.
So name your 3 again.
My 3 were adjustment.
That was for your marriage.
Yes. A whirlwind was me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was all over.
That's
the
why I
place.
called you a lot.
It actually matched.
They did
match perfectly. Bingo.
And then the other word was frustrating.
Okay. So having you as a whirlwind, and what was your word for him?
Frustrating.
And he was frustrating, and that made for a what kind of marriage?
Adjusting.
Adjustment marriage. So
Adjustment
y'all
marriage,
both
like
you had to adjust to her whirlwind. She had to adjust to, well, I won't say you because this is your mind. This is your, what happens has to happen in you. So you had to adjust to you being a whirlwind and him being frustrating. Risha had to a trying. Was it trying your word?
Trying
You had a
marriage.
trying marriage
'Cause I
because
was
he was being
begging.
dishonest,
Because I was
and you
begging.
were begging for
And honest, that's another
honesty
reason. Not just
and
time, but I was begging for honesty.
honesty. You were begging for time. You were begging. You were
Jesus.
begging for a lot of things, and so
Yeah.
for you, it was trying. At the end of the day, that's what you had.
Yeah.
Okay, George.
Mine was clarity, difficult, and a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, which one was the description for your marriage?
Clarity.
Clarity.
Clarity. Okay, so you were being difficult, and she was being a lot, and so you had to get clarity on why those things were happening. Is that what it was?
Yes.
'Cause
just
you-
trying to understand her, you know.
Trying to understand why she was being a lot,
And why
and
she
you
was
and
doing-
understanding yourself as why you were being difficult.
See, I
And
like how
so-
you doing that. How you flipping the scenarios back. That's nice. That's such a psychologist thing of you to do.
That's what you have to do, because when
That's
you
so
describe the
nice.
marriage first,
Mm-hmm.
you
Okay.
always start there. What's the end result of what I'm giving you and what you're giving me? Because it's always going to have an end result. What about you, Tay? What was your 3?
Challenging for the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
immature for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and clingy for him.
Okay. So he was being clingy. You were being immature about it. And and the marriage
Was
was a
challenging.
challenge for you. Okay? Because someone who is clingy, that is not necessarily a bad thing.
It wasn't a bad thing. I think that I had to kind of adjust, and I kind of felt maybe a little smothered. Maybe kind of how Nate, you guys felt a little bit like you always here. Like, okay,
Especially since you were a loner as a kid
but I wasn't
most
but
of the
thing-
time, right?
yeah,
because
and
your
but
siblings
I
are
was
older.
able to escape. Like I was always with Risha, so I was always like, if I wanted to stay home, I'm just stay home. You know what I'm saying? So I always had somebody, but he just never went nowhere.
So
and we went everywhere
Risha
together.
would go somewhere.
Or I would leave her. Yeah.
And then but because he was there all the time,
All
you
the
found
time.
that as someone being clingy.
Yeah, but now it's crazy because I'm the clingy one. Like it's crazy. Now it's how the roles have reversed. I just be up on him all day long. But yes, at first it was like, you need to go on somewhere about your business.
Okay.
But I was very immature.
So it
yes.
created a challenging marriage for
Atmosphere.
you. Okay. So mine was a blur, and then he was confusing, and then my marriage was a blur. He was confusing, and I was naive. I had no idea what I was looking at or how to put it together. And then because he was confusing, like he changed personalities, and I didn't know.
That's a nice way to say somebody's bipolar.
Well,
I mean,
no,
or
because he
schizo.
never
I know,
changed
but
back.
it's
So
oh,
for
Lord.
me,
He never changed back.
so, and that's why I call myself
Oh,
naive,
Lord.
because I thought that his representative
Mm-hmm.
was who he was, I guess you could say. And
So he kind of code switched and never.
well, I don't even think I don't know. That's why I say he was confusing to me, because even now, like he'll be like, I was in love with you, and I try to go find the love that in my mind. I try to
From your experience.
yes, we had an inside joke about a cot situation before this podcast started, where basically I ended up on a cot, but we won't. I don't know if I need to give context, but basically, Aaron is shaking his head no in the background. Okay. But basically, those type of scenarios made it difficult
My
to
God.
find where his love was and what that looked like, because everybody shows love differently.
Amen.
So even when I look back and I try to find the areas, and I have, just to bring myself clarity, and I couldn't find it. So I needed him to put it together for me to create it. And then when I talk to him, it still don't connect. So I'm just like, let's just leave it at confused.
Yeah, because honey, I,
Let's just leave it, because when I put it on the floor and try to put the puzzle together, it still don't make sense. So for me, that's why it
how old
was
were you
a
when you guys
blur.
got married?
I was 20. He was,
was 20?
19.
19. How old were you?
I was 22 and he was 28.
22, 28. How old were you guys?
33.
33.
No, I'm lying.
33,
I
36.
think he was 29. Sorry,
35.
because he was about to be 30 that December.
I'm sorry. That was funny. Right. You're 35. And I was 19 and 24. Just to give y'all some where we was at in life.
Now I'm about to be knocking on 30.
Amen.
That's so beautiful. I'm knocking on 40, so
What
it's beautiful.
That's
It's
coming up.
beautiful. It is.
I'm not gonna get
It's
emotional.
beautiful.
On this
I
camera.
had a question for y'all, but man, like when I tell you it slipped my mind so fast.
So I have a question for y'all too. Since y'all are the two married people on the panel, what is it about? Do you agree with his 3? Do you agree with her 3? And what is your view on his 3 words versus your 3 words?
I do agree with his 3 words, because like even though it was a huge adjustment, we did gain a lot of clarity, and we learned a lot from that 1 year. I mean, a lot. Like we still a work in progress, but we did learn a lot. And I agree. I was a lot. I mean, I was in the whirlwind. It was a lot going on.
Y'all have similar descriptions for you. So
Yeah.
both of you agree that you were a lot.
She was probably overthinking, won't she? She do a lot
I'm
of
a
It's
huge
in
overthinking.
our blood a
overthinker.
little bit.
Like, just-
Jesus.
And what was your word for him?
Frustrating because like
And his word for him was
'Cause men
difficult.
are annoying
Yes.
sometimes.
So you both agree with what you both were giving each other.
so I mean I agree. And once we finally like
Do you know what? Do you hear your result word?
yeah
What was your result word for your
Just-
marriage?
adjustment
And his was clarity.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't end there. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, if those 2 words could have been to describe their marriage at the end, like if you were a lot and a whirlwind and difficult and all that kind of stuff, y'all could have said trash as a result answer. And how do you describe your marriage then? That's why I asked, what do you describe your marriage as first?
Right.
Versus describing you first, because then you might have a different result. But I wanted you to be clear on what is this to me. And so your result words
It's really good.
is
It's really good. It's like,
Oh, it's really good. Y'all understand?
this is good here.
This is really
Yeah.
freaking my brain.
I
So-
know when Richard pop out and be like,
Wow.
like it's just something about it. I like it. Go ahead.
That's how you
so
know it's
even
good.
though your descriptions of each other weren't the best, that you're admitting I wasn't depicting myself in the best light for my partner, you still got adjustment and you still got clarity as a marriage. So when it comes together, the results were still positive, even though you're seeing the worst of each other and the worst of yourselves. So, and that's what makes a good marriage, because even in the hard times, at the end of the day, how do I view my marriage? And for you, it was adjustment. I can adjust. And for you, it's clarity. I want to bring understanding. I want to understand what I can do better and what she could do better. I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
she was a lot. I'm trying to think of other words, y'all. I promise you I am.
You don't have to.
Honestly,
You don't have to.
word.
If you try to think of it and you get too deep in it, then you'll change,
Right.
what it is
like-
at the surface.
Yeah, like when we have, arguments or whatnot, or disagreements, Renee, one thing about Renee, she won't let it go. And I'm the type person, I'm just kind of like, listen, what's for dinner? I'm over it.
What do you
But-
have to say to yourself?
It's the truth.
It is. We can be, and it can be 1:00 in the morning, and I'm like, baby, I gotta go to bed because I gotta wake up at 4:30. She'll cut on
Bring up
every
your mic.
light in the house and the TV, and she'll make sure I won't go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to talk about this.
Right.
No.
She's like, we're gonna talk about it. And that's been an adjustment because I'm not used to that. I'm just kind of like, listen, I'm over it. You right. Well, you just saying that so I can leave it alone. Mm-hmm. But
When I tell you that sound like some Airbnb stuff, I tell you, it was hard for me to let stuff go too, because like we gotta dissect this, we gotta figure this out, we gotta break it down all the way down to the square molecules, Because I got to get some understanding.
Gotta get some clarity.
Because I don't understand. I don't like this. But Aaron be like, I said I was fine.
Because I like my sleep, and you can't go to bed angry. And if my stuff is in my chest,
When I tell you that word had me in bondage, don't tell nobody
In a
married.
chokehold.
Don't tell nobody married that mess. Don't go to bed angry at each other. I get your sentiment, but people, when they told me that, they gave me no like understanding. They was like, just don't go to bed angry. I was like, okay, then how? What do I do not to do that?
Yeah.
But like I've learned being married, like it's okay to go to bed. I love you very much, but I need sleep. We're gonna talk about this
talk
tomorrow
about it
for
because
me,
I'm not
it
finished.
just depends on what it is. Like if it's something that's gonna disrupt my sleep, oh, we talking because I need my sleep. So
I
like there's
understand.
something that be like, you know what?
You have to pick. You
I
have
would
to
talk
pick
about
and
it
choose
tomorrow.
your
It's
battles.
okay. We can agree to disagree, but if it's something that's like this is not gonna work, you're gonna have to get up. Then
I think
I
the
have to go.
That's
longer.
every time. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
think-
Every time.
No, it's not.
Every time, if there's no difference. If there, whatever kind of argument it is, we gonna talk about it. If
Because
it's on
I
the
just
ride
want to be
home,
at peace at the end of the day. Like
I'm at peace.
no,
But see, men can do
Men
that.
are at peace.
We are at
Men
peace.
can do that. Women cannot. And another thing about women,
I can now.
I think that the longer,
Because
that part,
decided.
the
I said,
longer,
I'm going to sleep.
the
Good
longer,
night.
the longer you stay married, the more you realize this person, when someone is going to be there for you, the only way to prove that is with time. And so when that person is still laying next to you 10, 12, 13, 15, 20 years down the road, you don't take it so much so that, no, we need to get this together right now. And the reason for that is because they've proven themselves as a partner and that they're not going anywhere. And that's when eventually you will get to the point where you are mad and you be like, we will talk about this tomorrow. Good night.
Like I have literally, we have been. I'm
It
like, you
will
know what?
happen.
We're
It
gonna
will
deal with
happen.
this later because I'm tired. I don't want to deal with this no more. Good night.
Because we feel so pressed that no, this is a
As
pressing
women, yeah.
subject. And like what he said, when you were just like a few minutes ago, you were like, no, it's not everything. He's like, no, it's all the stuff. Because to us, it's all a big deal and that we need to fix. I don't want it to get down the line and be more broken. So therefore, we got to fix it
right
now.
now.
We try
And
to
it
do
does feel like that at
prevention.
first. But when you have a partner, even a friend, a mother, a sister that's test and time proven, you don't care nothing about that. You gonna go to sleep and be like, and some stuff you just gonna be like, you know what? It don't even matter if it was blue or purple. He can say it's green. I'm going to sleep, and it won't matter because that's love, test and time proven. But yeah,
That's good.
that's gonna
I'm
be
gonna go right to sleep.
yeah. Eventually, you gonna get there.
But I
Jesus.
remember.
Get there.
I
I
don't
remember.
wanna
I was
be
like, oh, we
that.
gotta fix this. You sitting
Yes.
there crying and stuff. What are we gonna do?
I was about to
We gotta
say-
talk about it right
I was
now.
about to say, I don't think I was that type of person to turn on the light and say, let's talk about it. Like my first year of marriage when I was. I just didn't care. I mean, I cried it out to myself a lot. Like, I cried a lot to myself. Because I was like, he won't listen to no way. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit there and waste my time. Because talking to him felt like talking to a brick wall. I felt like if I was talking, I won't get nowhere. It won't click in Shannon. I don't know what was happening. So I said, forget it. I'm
Yeah.
going to cry to the Lord. And he heard my cry because he rescued me.
I mean, I'm grateful for each and every person up here who had that option.
Amen.
Because mine was gone. I don't know where he was at when I needed to talk. I couldn't reach him on the phone. Okay, he wasn't on the main
And
line.
honey, how I would have.
I
been
couldn't
gone.
tell him what I wanted. How you gonna be gone without no license in Ohio?
Mama, it's time to come get me.
I was not. Because I had
Come
school.
get
I
me.
had work and school the next day and
You gonna have
kids.
to pay for school, but you gotta come get me because I can't take it no more.
But yeah, I didn't have that
Jesus.
option. And I think that it really did something to. It really does something when the option is taken away. Like the fact that you have him here, he's just like, I don't want to talk about it. You should give him a little bit more leeway because, like my ex did not do that, and he would just be like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I just don't want to talk about it no more. I'd be like, I want to talk about this. Come back. I said, where you going?
Go for the next 3 to 4
Where you
business
go-
days.
Where are you at? Let me. You know what? Let me call. He better answer this phone. He better, and let me tell you, I'll be calling him for 2-3 days. Okay,
He
was
said 2 to
not-
3 business
he,
days.
I was like, at this point, he probably not coming back. I need to go rethink life.
You went to
talk
go
no
get the
more.
milk.
But you know, but then
He would have go get the milk.
let me tell you something. But he would always come back right before this corner would be dry, but this one won't quite there. I ain't had no more food, waters, and supplies, and he would come back right before I ran out. So,
You got enough in here to last you.
but
Jesus.
But yeah, he and that, so he didn't even give me the option. And then I'll be like, look, can we start where we left off? And he would go right back out the door for however long, wherever else he was. Yeah. So he would not even give me the option to talk to him. And sometimes we would,
My Lord.
and I'm not gonna say ever. We obviously had disagreements, and it was times, but I can't remember a time where we actually sat and he gave me the option to talk. So it's really, really good if somebody gives you the option to be difficult or a whirlwind or
And
a
a
lot.
lot. Mhm.
It is.